My turn, Yugi boy.
What's going on, guys? This is Jason, Duelist of the Rogue, bringing you my first place Orcus deck profile. Yesterday we actually had a box tournament. About 10 or 12 people showed up. It was 6 rounds, 4 rounds of Swiss, and then top 4. The deck played extremely well. First round I had a 2-0 with Zodiacs. Round 2 was Altergeist, which was 2-1. Round 3 was Heroes, 2-0. Round 4 was another Altergeist, which was actually Gus from our own channel, Duelist of the Rogue. He got me. Going in the top 4 was Mystic Mine. It was pretty tough in the first round, but I actually ended up pulling through the next 2. And then I met Gus back up into the final round, which got me first place. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dig on into it. And before we get started, guys, just want to let you guys know we do actually have a special code for you guys. It's DOR10, Duelist of Rogue. Go ahead and check that store down below, and so you can get that 10% discount. But starting off, we do have our Orcus lineup. There's a 3 Gearsum, great card of the deck. One of the biggest starters that we have at the moment. I still am running only 2 Nightmares. I never really wish I could see the 3rd one. I think 2 is just fine. 2 Symbol Skeleton, and then 2 World 1. 2 World 1, just because we do play the Gizmek. Don't want to banish it, definitely need it. And we are running our scrap package. I do know it's kind of controversial in the Orcus community whether to run the scrap package. I think it's good. It raises the ceiling, and I do have kind of extra precautions in there to avoid those hand traps, such as Imperm or Ash. We are running the Bricky Boys, Red Eyes and Dark Magician. We are running the Dragoon package. 1 Dark Grepher, and 1 card I was kind of trying out, but actually never showed up, was Strangulanius. He's a really good extender. If you have a dark monster, you can special summon him from your hand. Kind of like the Crow. Dark Grepher's really good, kind of a pseudo starter. I used him to, honestly, he can unbrick your hand really well. I like to draw Red Eyes and Dark Magician and opening hands. With him, you can pitch him, special summon him, or pitch them to send your Orcus to graveyard to start your combos. 2 Ash. Didn't really wish I saw 3. I mean, more interruption's always great, but I'd rather see combo pieces. We do have Babel, Orchestrated Return. Great with Galatea. You can set them, and most of the time you're going to be going after Babel. Kind of self-explanatory there. I did want more draw power, and I almost ran a Lower Darkness. It's a pretty self-explanatory card, but I actually chose last minute card destruction. This card worked really well. It completely unbricked my hands. There was one duel against Altergeist, Haiju, a Nightmare, a Scrap Golem, and an Orcus Crescendo. With that, there was no plays. Played that, put the Nightmare in the grave, put the Crescendo in the grave, search, started my engine, and actually drew a Harpy's Feather Duster right off of that. Red Eyes Fusion, we are playing like I said, the Dragoon package. And then A card that I cannot cut from this deck and I love playing, I think it's great in this deck, is Two Fiend Sanctuary. It's a free monster. It's not once per turn. You get a token. This deck does get hurt by hand traps, and so with the scrap wyvern only requires a scrap and a monster. You summon, if you normal summon scrap recycler, and most of the time people are going to hit that with your ash. People are going to hit that with their imperm. This just helps you play through it. You don't care. You see this in your hand with the scrap recycler. 9 out of 10, you have full combo. I did drop, ironically, droplets down to 2. I just saw too much of it in my hand. I still think this card is needed in the deck. Going second, it's great. Going first, it's great as well. You can always send a nightmare or extender pieces to the grave that are needed. For the 1-ofs, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Monster Reborn, World Legacy Succession, reinforcements just for that gruffer, bait out Ash if you need to, and a card that kind of might be controversial, kind of like I said, is Mind Control. Great going second. You can take away up with droplets, shut off their field, take a monster, recycler, start combo, start breaking down the board. And this ratio might seem kind of weird, but I am playing 1 Harpies and 1 Twin Twisters. If there's any changes that you want to make to this deck, these would be it. Our locals have heavy back row. As I said, they were the Mystic Mind player in top 4. But these were great. I wanted to make sure they were taken care of with the Harpies Feather Duster. And I wanted extra, and Twin Twisters just says pop 2 and discard. So I think that's, I know it's a really weird ratio, but they worked great. 1 Orcust Crescendo, kind of self-explanatory. Searchable with Galatea. Goes to the graveyard, you get a search. Great card. And to finish up the hand traps would be the 3 Impermanents. And going on to extra deck here, we have 2 Dings. No explanations why I play Ding. Best card in the deck, pretty much. 2 Galateas. I have been thinking about kind of upping her to 3. Sometimes I want the 3rd one. Other times I really don't. It kind of just for the really long grind games, it would be super nice. I do play 1 Longyear. He does help with that grind game. He shuffles 2 banished Orcuses back to banished into the deck. And while Babble's on the field, he's a quick. He sends cards to the graveyard. And Red Eyes Dragoon. He actually put in work yesterday. Really good card. I was really happy with him. Most of my boards honestly just consisted of ending on a Dragoon and an IP with a Verte. IP using Verte to go into Appaloosa or anything that was really needed. Having just 1 Dragoon and a fully loaded Orcust graveyard is more than enough, I feel. And mainly they're going to be concerned about the Dragoon more than your Orcust cards. And it was just really great overall. Link Kribo, definitely needed. You can abuse him with the tokens for the Metal Fiend token. IP, great in this deck. Lib, she's really great. It helps you abuse those scrap golems and scrap recyclers. Speaking of the scraps, we do have the scrap wyvern. And Nightmare Unicorn works really great with IP. Appaloosa. Really didn't really go into her. I think I went into her once against the heroes, and that was probably about it. Zorboros. Really great card. He actually won me game against Altergeist. You summon him, and I had a Gizmek in the hand and a Ding ready to go in the graveyard, so I was kind of wanting to set 5 and pass, because end turn you banish all their cards and go for the OTK next turn, and want access code. He never really came up, but with all the, I mean, we do have the Earth, the Light, and a Dark in the grave for those extra pops. So like I said, never really came up, didn't really need to go into him. For side deck, this is a completely personal preference. This is based off your meta. So change it however you like. Never know what I'm going to expect, whether it's going to be combo. So I do run Summon Limit. It can hurt us depending on the turn. Mainly you want to play this on your opponent's turn, and then you ding, and then it hurts them a lot more than it hurts us in the long run. 2 Artifact Lancias. This can stop the Virtual World, which is coming around, which is going to be a big deck. Play that going second. It pretty much, it really hurts their turns. They don't get those resources in the graveyard. 1 Reboot. There were 2 Altergeist decks. That should be enough said. Back row and stun is heavy in my local area, so you always want to prepare for that. 2 Nibiru. I cited him a couple times, but he never came up. Once again, he's kind of he's really strong. Say no to combo. Dimensional Barrier. Zodiac's running around again, especially with the new Sky Thunder. They can abuse him heavily. So you call XYZ on their turn. Pretty much ends it. I did come up with a hero player. I called Fusion, and his turn was pretty much done. Imperial Order. I actually turned the tide against the Mystic Line. Saved me the duel. 3 Evenly Matches. Just good going second card, and helps with the back row. Most of my side deck is oriented against back row. I think combo decks I do have a good chance with. Most of the time, like I said, they're going to end with monsters, and I do run the droplets, the mind control to kind of help get those outs in, and 2 Twin Twisters. But overall, I was really excited how that deck played. I think I really only braked hard once, and like I said, that card destruction really saved me from that. With that card destruction, it puts things that you want in the graveyard and not in your hand into the graveyard, and it gets you more resources. But I just want to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned. This is Jason from Duels to the Rogue, and signing off.